confirm.
Mama told Johnny not to go downtown. Marine Corps recruiter was a hanging around. Marine Corps recruiter was a hanging around.
So, what up my peeps? MatrixNative here. Today's video, that's right cupcakes, little sunflowers, I got another build for you with a history. See, I listen to my subscribers, so let's go. We're going to throw a build down today with a history, but first, while it's on my mind, I seriously rolled out of my couch and on the floor laughing at Spanky. After 10 tries, he finally got that RPG hit, and then he almost killed himself running in front of my motherfucking LNG gunner. That is some funny stuff. Just to remind you, always remember your field of fire and your range cards and your quarter of fire, so you don't become like he almost became and taking that dirt nap. So with that being said, if you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe. It certainly helps the channel out. It helped me out. Also, if you don't see me around for a while, it's simply because I'm sick of YouTube and striking every kind of military stream or video I put up. If anybody's got any hints on that, go ahead. I'm getting that advertiser non-friendly. Well, so be it until they figure that out, or maybe they won't. You might not see me around a lot because it's unnerving to me, even though I love bringing you the content and reading the comments. So with that being said, let's put a cap on that fucking small talk and get on with the history. So, the United States Marine Corps, the USMC, also known as the United States Marines, is a branch of the United States Armed Forces responsible for conducting amphibious operations with the United States Navy. The U.S. Marine Corps is one of the 4 armed service branches of the United States Department of Defense and one of 7 uniformed services of the United States. The Marine Corps has been a component of the United States Department of Navy since 30 June 1834, working closely with naval forces. The USMC operates installations on land and abroad seagoing amphibious warships around the world. Additionally, several of the Marines' tactical aviation squadrons, HUA, primarily Marine Fighter Attack Squadrons, are also embedded in Navy carrier wings that operate from the aircraft carriers themselves. The history of the Marine Corps began when 2 battalions of Continental Marines were formed on 10 November 1775 in Philadelphia as a branch of infantry troops capable of fighting on both at sea and on shore. By the mid-20th century, the U.S. Marine Corps had become a major theorist of amphibious warfare, which was utilized in the Pacific theater of World War II. As of 2016, the USMC has around 182,000 active members and some 38,500 reserve Marines. It is the smallest U.S. military service within the Department of Defense. However, as my devil dogs know out there, it is also one of the motherfucking most high-speed, hardcore, I mean, let's face it, the Marine Corps, you know, the Army, we have our stuff, Air Force and Navy, but something about the Marine Corps, you know, I have really nothing against the Marine Corps. I was actually gonna enlist in the Marine Corps. However, they just could not guarantee me airborne school, and I had to get my wings on, if you know what I'm saying. And you know, I'm perfectly hua for my chosen profession in the military in the United States Army, but I am saying the Marine Corps was definitely a viable choice for me. So let's get on a little bit more about the Marine Corps. So as outlined and as originally introduced under the National Security Act of 1947, 3 primary areas of responsibility for the Marine Corps are seizure of defense of advanced naval bases and other land operations to support naval campaigns, development of tactics, technique, and equipment used by amphibious landing forces in coordination with the Army and Air Force, and other such duties as the President or Department of Defense may direct. The Marine Corps since then, as well as those 3 things, has actually expanded its role in the 20th century. Again, with warfare changing, with the power of the Navy changing, the Marine Corps fulfills a critical military role as amphibious warfare force. It is capable of many kinds of warfare, including special operations warfare, conventional, irregular, and hybrid forces. While the Marine Corps does not employ any unique capabilities as a force, it can rapidly deploy a combat arms task force to almost anywhere in the world within days. The basic structure for all deployed units as a Marine Air Ground Task Force, basically its acronyms, MAGTF, Marine Air Ground Task Force, that integrates a ground combat element, an aviation combat element, and a logistics combat element under a common command element. While the creation of joint commands under the Goldwater-Nicholas Act have improved inter-service coordination between each branch, the Corps' ability to permanently maintain integrated multi-element task force under a single command provides a much smoother implementation of combat arms warfare principles. So a little more on the history of the United States Marine Corps. The United States Marine Corps traces its roots to the Continental Marines of the American Revolutionary War, as stated. Formed by Captain Samuel Nicholas by a resolution of the Second Continental Congress on 10 November 1775 to raise 2 battalions of Marines. The date is regarded and celebrated as the date the Marine Corps birthday. So let's remember that 10 November 1775 is actually the date regarded and celebrated as the date of the Marine Corps birthday. At the end of the American Revolution, both the Continental Navy and the Continental Marines were disbanded in April 1783. The institution itself would not be resurrected again until 11 July 1798. At the time, in preparation for the Quais War with France, Congress created the United States Marine Corps. Marines had been enlisted by the War Department as early as August 1797 for service in the new build frigates authorized by the Congressional Act to provide a naval armament of 18 March 1794, which specified the numbers of Marines to recruit for each frigate. Now, with that being said, obviously, we all know that the Marine Corps has just a fucking hua history. However, when you think of their birthday, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is just with the research I have done and talking to a couple of fucking leathernecks there, they celebrate their birthday as 10 November 1775, and I ain't hating them, because they definitely, as stated, it was actually one of my first choices. Again, could not get the airborne wings on my first hit, so I decided to go with the Army Dogs. Okay, so with all this history, obviously they've served in some campaigns dating back to the American Civil War to World War I. Basically, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, the War on Terrorism, Global War on Terrorism, obviously Afghanistan, Iraq, just about anywhere that you can think of a hot zone, the Marines have been there or are going there. A lot like the United States Army Airborne Rangers. However, just saying on this, the Marine Corps also do a shit ton, I mean a lot of peacekeeping operations, that of which we had in Somalia, for instance. Now, a lot of people think that the Marine Corps were actually pulled out of Somalia for the Rangers to lead the way with the assault on Mogadishu. However, I will tell you, I know for a fact that there were Marines with boots on ground over there. Yes, the peacekeeping force was definitely pulled out of that situation. But again, when you think peacekeeping, you do have grunts, but you also have, you have just a shit ton of supply units and headquarters units in a peacekeeping type force. So with that being said, don't get it twisted. The Marine Corps were definitely involved in Somalia, maybe not at the same level as Delta Airborne Rangers, Army Special Forces. However, don't get it twisted. MARSOC was definitely on ground over there along with some infantry companies. So don't get it twisted. The Marine Corps definitely had boots on ground, even though the majority of the Mogadishu, Somalia peacekeeping force was actually pulled out before the actual invasion started. Okay, so to break it down, basically the Marine Corps was founded 10 November 1775. My peeps, that is the longest history of any build I have done. So, big shouts out to the Marine Corps 241 years ago. Obviously, the country United States. Type of role, Marine Combat Arms. Role, amphibious and expeditionary warfare. Their size, relatively 182,000 active, 38,500 in reserve, and around 1,199 aircraft. Part of the United States Department of Defense, obviously. Headquartered, basically, you have two places. You can be a Hollywood Marine and basically go to basic in San Diego. That's what you're known as, a Hollywood Marine, at least it was when I was in. And then, of course, Parris Island. And that, my friends, I believe there's a rift. In fact, I know there is one between a Hollywood Marine and a Parris Island Marine. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. However, it's sort of like the Army dogs. You know, we respect pretty much every unit out there. However, we both kick ass and got the same blood and the same mud, so don't get it twisted. Semper Fidelis is the motto, always faithful. Nicknames, Jarhead, Devil Dogs, Leathernecks, and if you know any more, go ahead and throw them in the comments. Again, my peeps, one of the most historic, absolute historic military units in the United States today, over 241 years. So with that being said, let's go ahead, secure our rucks, and get the fuck down range. Enjoy, my peeps.
We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea.
Okay, my peeps, so you know what to do. Go ahead. Tap that back or select button. Go ahead. RB over to loadout. Double tap the Y and here we are. Head, as usual. Facial hair, we're going with none. Just because that's the high speed thing to do with this build. Hair, going with the Warhawk as usual. Hair color brown, one each. Facial hair, or correction, facial detail, I'm going with the burn. Because that's just how I roll. Body details, facial paint. So I went with the Screaming Eagles here. Of course, there's a couple of things you could go with. I really like the Prestige Jungle. I will be putting that in an upcoming uni. But for this build, I went ahead and I had to stay with the Screaming Eagles just because it just fits this build so proper, right? And of course, when you're in more of a desert environment, you can actually go with none. So for right now, we're going to go with the Screaming Eagles. Right arm for me, as always, Santa Maria. Left arm, Mi Familia today. Of course, it's not going to matter because, as usual, we will not even see our tattoos. Tops, of course, we're going with the Cry Combat shirt, and why wouldn't we? To me, it's just the Marine Corps is, you know, that high speed. They should be out wearing the Cry Combat shirt at every level. So, with that being said, again, no Marpat at all. Never. I don't know. I can't believe they didn't include the Marpat. So for today, if you think about it, we're going to go ahead and go with the CAD-PAT because it does mirror the Marpat quite significantly. So go ahead and equip that in the 1934. Vest, we're going to go ahead, put the 511. We're going to go ahead and wear the plate carrier today for no specific reason other than this is an infantryman and we will be shit kidding and getting some shit. So with that being said, why wouldn't we go with the plate carrier, and we'll put that in the 1634. That is correct, the 1634. There's a couple of ways you can go with this. You can hit the Coyote Brown if you'd like. To me, that's just a tad bit too dark. Even the Sandstone, you can definitely roll with the Sandstone, but to me, and this is just my opinion, of course, the AR1, it actually has the feel of the Sandstone to the back, to the plating, so to speak, right? So if you want, you can put it in any of those three and be okay as far as my build goes, and that would be the 1634. Pants, today we're going with the Cargo C. Again, I believe the Cargo C is a little more rugged than, say, a Cry Combat. However, that's not saying anything because I love the Cry Combat. I really do think it is just an amazing set of battle fatigues. However, we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it with the Cargo C for our infantry grunt Marine Devil Dog Leatherneck here. Sorry about that. Thought I had my stuff off. You know, people always trying to hate no matter where I'm at. So, yeah, like I said, so you can go ahead and pretty much just go with the CAD-PAT AR. That is the fit. That is the Cargo C today. Again, nothing against the Cry Combat, but we're going to go with the Cargo C and keep it leatherneck in the CAD-PAT AR. Footwear today, we're going with the hiking boots. We're going to keep those in the 3.6 Sandstorm. Ghillie suit, obviously none. Of course, accessories. How could I forget? Hot psych. Okay, today we're going with the Point Man specs. I'm really liking them. I think that you would see 1 or 2 Marine Corps in these with the Dayglow orange Oakley lens, if you will. And yes, I do like that. I like that a lot. So we're going to go with that today with the Point Man specs. Again, I'm not hating you. If you want to fall out in something that's not quite as reflective, you could even wear your ballistics. If you want to do that, though, you got to go ahead and put those in the black. And with that being said, hit those Point Man specs, be huh or be rah, and get into face wear. Face wear. Obviously, I'm going with none today. Headwear, today we're going to go with the Advanced Ballistics Helmet with the night vision. Of course, we want the NBGs because, after all, I see a shit ton of Marines, and I know you do too, wearing them. However, you might not have them on during the daylight operations. However, at night, you're definitely going to go ahead and clamp them on. So if you don't have that, obviously just go ahead and put it in the carbon cut helmet. And either one you're going to go with today, you'll be putting it in the CAD-PAT. Headsets, we're going with headset A. They're just very functional. You can tell they're durable, and we're going to go ahead and equip those in the 3.6 Coyote Brown. Handwear, why wouldn't we? Of course we would. We're going with the Oakley Pilots. We're going to put those in the 5.5 Sandstone. And today, we're going to go ahead with the rucksack, and we're going to put it in the 5.11 Rust 72. Why wouldn't we? And also, today is one of the first times that we have ever used the same camo as we have for our uniform top. That's right. We usually offset the two, but with today's fit, the way it's going down, and since we're wearing the Cry up top, we really do need to have the 1933 in the rear. And I just think that fits. It's a hua look. It just really, to me, the uni today was a little bit of, I was like, dang, man, something's missing. But as soon as I equipped the CAD-PAT in, and again, it would be MARPAT if they offered it. As soon as I equipped that, it just all really came together for me. So there's no option. Go ahead, equip that with this fit in the 1933. Patches, of course, Romeo 9, if you're rolling with me, really doesn't matter. That is very optional. That is our Marine Corps uniform today. I hope you enjoyed it. I put some time into it. Again, I think it looks pretty hua. Again, the shadowy, the darkness of the silhouette out there in the preceding features of the LCE, I think we nailed it. But again, you can use, I think there were several that we went over for your land bearing equipment. And with that being said, let's go ahead and drive on to the weapons, to that bad boy right there. Okay, weapons, obviously, let's go ahead and get into our primary. Now, I'm not going to hate you this round. Either way, we're carrying the M4A1. However, there's a couple you can choose from. Now, I really wanted to equip this M4 Tactical. 100%, I really wanted to. However, there's a problem with it. It's only single shot. So, negative on that. So if you want, you can go ahead and equip the M4A1 Commando. Now here's the thing, I hate the OD green sleeve in the rear on the buttstock. However, besides that, I'm actually liking this. Well, I guess besides the woodland in the body of the weapon as well. I wish that was all black, or actually I just wish they'd let you go ahead and tweak out of some of these special weapons instead of them just telling us what we can have on them and not being able to take them to the gunsmith. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to equip the M4A1. Again, I know, surprise, surprise. However, it is actually what you'd be carrying as a fucking leatherneck right now. Parts are correction paint presets. We'll go ahead and today, as you can see, I have it in the dark earth here, but we're actually going to equip it in the black today. No frills about this build today. It is strictly a infantryman grunt of the United States Marine Corps. So go ahead, equip that in black. Parts, we'll go ahead and part it out. Stock buttstock, go ahead and put that in the black. Scope, we're going to go with the digital scope. However, again, as usual and as like all my builds. I'm not hating you if you want to go with the ACOG. In fact, for this build today, I would go ahead and advise you to go ahead and slip the ACOG on it, even though I do like the digital scope a lot better. That's just me personally. However, in today's battlefield, you're going to mostly find the ACOG on the import and variants thereof. So go ahead, equip that bad boy in the 1-2 black. And we'll go ahead and we'll keep the ACOG on there for today. Trigger, of course, full auto semi. Magazine, we're going to go ahead and carry the large cap on there. That's 50 rounds. Going to go ahead and keep that in the black as well. Under barrel, of course, why wouldn't we? You saw a little bit at the end of the history footage. That's exactly how you would be trained on the M203 range in the United States Marine Corps as well as other services. However, we're going to go ahead and equip the M203 because trust me, it's like your best friend if you're a grunt. We're going to go ahead and equip that in the black as well. Rail cover, we're going to go ahead and throw that in the 1-2. If you would like, you can put the rangefinder on it. You know what? Let's go ahead and equip the rangefinder today, and we're going to put that in the gray. Barrel today, we're going to keep it in the standard barrel today, and we're going to equip that in the 2-2 gray. Muzzle, you can go ahead if you want, put the suppressor on it, go ahead and equip it. Put it in the black, however, equip the stock muzzle in the 1-2 black. And that's it, my friends. That's our primary today, the Import A1. Of course, widely used in a lot of militaries around the world. However, primary weapon for any grunt in the United States Army and actually Spec Ops as well. So the secondary today, again, we're going to go ahead, keep it a grunt build. So of course, we're going to go ahead and carry the MK4A. Now, here's the deal with this weapon. On your LCE, your LBE, you can go ahead on your vest and you can go ahead and put it in the IBA if you're like role playing a medic grunt or a doc grunt, if you will. And that way you'll get your medic badge. But you will have to make this primary. I've said it on other builds, so if you don't really understand what I'm talking about, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I'm sure somebody will let you know. However, for this build today, this is going to be our secondary. Paint, again, we're keeping this like no frills at all. Basically how you're going to hit the ground in Afghanistan if you're a Marine today. So go ahead, equip it, or paint scheme in the black. Parts. Stock buttstock today, keep that in the black. Scope, we're going to go ahead and go with the EXPS3. Now, I'm not hating you really if you want to go with the panoramic, but staying with the build and what would actually be attached to the weapon we can't even attach would be the ACOG. I don't know why they decided we couldn't equip an ACOG on any kind of LMG in here. However, we're going to go ahead and we're going to equip the holograph on it, and we're going to be putting that in the black. Trigger, of course, full auto only. Magazine, why wouldn't we? Extended 200 freaking box ammunition, and we're going to put that in the 1-2 black. Under barrel, we're going to go with the Victor 2. I would suggest either going with the Victor 3 or the Victor 2. I like the Victor 2 because you get a little more handling. Drops off in accuracy just a little bit, but it definitely picks up in handling. So we're going to go ahead and throw the foregrip Victor 2 on it, and you're going to be putting that in the black as well. Rail, we're going to go ahead, keep it clean. We're going to keep that in the 1-2 black. Standard barrel today, again, go ahead, throw that in the 2-2 gray. And again, I'm not really digging the long barrel with this build, again, as a short barrel can put down just as much grazing fire as a long barrel. Maybe not quite as accurate. However, you know, who really needs that really when you're with a platoon of grunts to begin with? So again, accuracy is key. I didn't really mean to say it like that, but we're going to go ahead and equip that in the standard barrel today. We're going to keep it in the 2-2 gray. Muzzle, we're going to go ahead, why wouldn't we equip the Victor 2, put that in the 1-2 black. That, my friends, what we're going to the field with. The tried and true. It has become a weapon of its own. A lot of people like it better than the saw because they said the saw, you know, would actually malfunction every 5 or 6 rounds, which, you know, I never really had that issue with it. Handguns today, we're going to be going with the M9. Again, you know, this is what you'd be carrying, but also, I don't know if anybody caught this, you have got to love the Trechon freaking day glow sights. You've got to love those. And on the battlefield in this game in first person, they really do stand out. So with that being said, I'm really not minding carrying this. It's a fully functional, fully battle tested weapon. So let's go ahead. Paint presets, of course, in the black today. Parts, we'll go ahead and part it out. I'm going to carry the 15. I'm going to not carry the 25 again. You know my reasons. I'm going to carry that in the gray. Rail cover, go ahead, throw that in the gray. Barrel, standard barrel today, we'll be putting that in the gray as well. And then the stock muzzle suppressor, both in the black. However, equip the stock muzzle and switch to the suppressor as needed. And again, I'm really just loving these sights. And when you get out there, I want you to switch up some pistols, and you tell me if these sights just aren't balls as far as iron sights. I love the day glow. I love the Trichon. It's a nice touch battlefield. I wish you would put it on yet other weapons. However, with that being said, everything else, my friends, as always, is pretty much optional. Whatever you want to carry, you play with me. Obviously, we only carry 2 down here, and I'll carry the frags and the diversion lure. So, my friends, I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm really going to try to keep making these. I enjoy making them a lot. I hope you enjoyed today's history. Hope it wasn't too boring for you. And again, my friends, I hope you had an amazing day today. I hope tomorrow's amazing. I hope yesterday was amazing. And you know what to do. Go ahead and snipe that like, snipe that sub, because my peeps, that's how we roll.
Dreaming big, town is small, and it's going down. All I need is a microphone, I'm headed for the crown, y'all. Call me wax, call me Weezy, I'll never blow, never bleak. They know like the radio that Henderson was meant to speak. I'm on these tracks, just like Thomas, I'm the truth, just being honest. Y'all a bunch of Martin and Anthony's, yeah, that's Freeman-Diners. Wayne Brady, they know the deal. Henderson just show a skill, way that I just go at will. You can call me Uncle Phil, you working, but I work harder till the day of Mr. Carter. My girl is a mix between Mrs. Lauder and Mrs. Carter, and I'll never dumb it down. I guess what I just spit is smarter. I'm a master of my trade. No, I won't forget the butter. You know I won't forget it. And when it comes to life, you know I won't regret it. Yeah, I'll say that shit simple and plain. If you thinking I'ma change, well, you must be insane, motherfucker.